Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the season finale in Season 6 of the Nashville Stars franchise. We sit here at 66-48, and we are in third, actually, in the division. In last episode, we made a move which could put us over the top, getting Jarred Kelenic and Logan Gilbert for three of our really good young players, a middle infielder, Tyler Black, and also Stephen Brennan being the highlights of that trade going to Seattle. And they get a lot younger and they get rid of two expiring contracts. This was really a all-in move to get Logan Gilbert and Jarred Kelenic because we pretty much mortgaged our middle infield, but a lot of you guys have said it really doesn't matter. I mean, we should just go after the ring and deal with that later. So here we are. Logan Gilbert makes his debut here versus the Toronto Blue Jays at home, and he gets a swing and miss right there for the second out of the inning, his first strikeout as a Nashville Star. Bo Bichette comes to the plate now, and he hits one well to the right side. That one gets through the infield and also gets to the wall. Enrique Bradfield took a terrible angle at that ball, and he will throw it to the cutoff man, and they will have a triple here with two outs. So I think adding Gilbert will add to that rotation, a issue we saw in the postseason last year where we just ran out of gas in our bullpen. Logan Gilbert facing Teoscar Hernandez gets him to swing and miss at a low and outside slider. So that brings up Willy Adames to the plate now. He hits one well down the third base line to start out this game. The lineup changes now with Jarred Kelenic here in the lineup. Willy Adames is the full-time leadoff hitter as that brings up Kerry Doss to the plate, and he hits one deep to right field. It looked like Hernandez was maybe going to camp under that one. He played it off pretty well, and it ends up being a double off of the wall. Definitely fooled me on that one. And Doss, 11-game hit streak. This is the right time to get hot. That brings up Rafael Devers, outside fastball, and that will load up the bases for number 4 hitter in the lineup, KFC. And KFC, an all-star for the second straight year, hitting 300 on the year, will hit one well to right field. This one should be deep enough to score the run from third, and it will. So we start out this game 1-0. The Blue Jays right now are in first place in the division as we take the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning, bringing up Dante Wild to the plate. Low pitch on a 3-2 count. That one will be ball 4. It looked like I thought Wild actually checked his swing, but he will call it ball 4. Loading up the bases for Jarred Kelenic. He hits one to second base, a slow roller, and he only can go to first on this one. So he avoids the double play on that one, but a run does come across the plate. Bringing up Kurt Zambrano to the plate now. John Means will walk him as well. That brings up Tyson King, who will now play a lot of second base now with the trade by Tyler Black. And he hits one hard up the middle. And Tyson King can hit the ball well. We have been developing that bat for 5 full seasons now. And he finally gets his opportunity. And maybe the Tyler Black trade opens that door open for him. That brings up Enrique Bradfield hitting last in the lineup now. I just do not trust him as that leadoff hitter. It's okay if he hits 9. That's an important spot as well. So a 3-0 start here to this game as that brings up the next batter to start the second inning, and that will be a shot off of the wall. So a leadoff double for the Toronto Blue Jays off of Logan Gilbert. That's the all-star Gabriel Moreno who gets the double right there. Lewis Brinson to the plate, hitting .235. Now starting outfielder for the Jays. He swings and misses. Lane Thomas to the plate, inside fastball, and he can't keep up. Logan Gilbert gives up the double, but no problem, gets out of that inning. Top 4 now. Teoscar Hernandez back at the plate, and he will swing and miss at that one and brings up Gabriel Moreno, who had a double earlier. Ground ball to short. And Adames, what a great fielder he is. He will throw that one on to first for the third out of the inning. Top 5 now. Brinson back at the plate. That's another strikeout. Logan Gilbert, you can just see what he brings to the table. He is electric with that fastball, and the slider is very good also. Gets batters off balance. That's a ground ball to short. And Gilbert really gives up no runs through the first 3 innings. As we move on to the 6th inning, now it's Justin Turner at the plate, and he hits one well to right center. That one will get to the wall. This is really his first hit given up since the 2nd inning, and it will be a double here as we still have this 3-run lead versus the division leaders. Alex Hutchinson, he hits a flare out to short. Easy play for Adames. Marsano to the plate now. Another flare to short. This one's higher up in the air. In the 2nd out of the inning. So Gilbert, you can just see, gets into these jams and finds a way to get outs. But now he faces Bo Bichette. And he hits one well to right field. This one is going to be back at the wall. It sneaks over for a 2-run shot by Bo Bichette, who's having an MVP type season for the Toronto Blue Jays. It brings it to a 3-2 ball game, and that's going to be the end of Logan Gilbert's day. Brusdar Graterol comes in out of the bullpen to face Teoscar Hernandez, and he's got the sombrero. 3 strikeouts today for Hernandez, but the Toronto Blue Jays end up coming back late in this game, scoring 2 runs late, and they take the 4-3 lead. We move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. They bring in their closer, Peter Fairbanks, and he faces Tyson King, who is 2 for 3, and he walks him. That brings us to Enrique Bradfield. We decide to pinch run for Tyson King, bringing in a little bit of a faster runner here in Jimmy Sandoval, and Enrique hits one well to the right side. That one gets through the infield. So we have 2 runners aboard here to start the 9th. No outs. This is the ideal situation because now we have the top of the lineup and nobody wants to face this lineup. Willy Adames to the plate. Outside pitch. It's a wild pitch and it will get to the backstop. And now there's runners on 2nd and 3rd. Willy Adames continues this at bat now. 3-2 count here. Having a 2-for-4 day. Hits one to right field. That's deep enough to score the runner from 3rd. Bradfield with 99 speed. You wouldn't want anybody better on 3rd base right in this moment. It's a tie ball game. And look who comes up next. Kerry Doss. 2 for 4 today. He's been in spots like this before. And you know he is a clutch hitter. This one's driven deep. That one out in a hurry. Kerry Doss walks it off. He does not even need a base hit. He wants to take it over the wall. 437, 107 exit velo. A great start to this episode here as we look to once again come back. This would be the 2nd time in this series we would make a 2-month comeback to win the division. Let's see if we can get it done in this episode as Kerry Doss, Mr. Clutch in a lot of situations. Kerry Doss, the boss, as we like to call him, has a walk-off home run. So we're going to sim a lot of games in this episode because, like I said, I want to get through the entire season. And you can just see we actually beat Toronto 2 of 3. And then we move on to the next series. But before that, I want to look at this game. A 12-3 victory versus Toronto. I mean, this was a dominant win. We actually gave up 11 hits, and we still beat them by 9 runs. It was that type of game. We play them again in a 3-game set. We win 2 of 3. We actually go on to sweep the Boston Red Sox. We drop 2 of 3 to the Chicago White Sox, including an 11-2 loss. That was a bad loss. And then we play Houston and beat them 2 of 3, winning one of the games in the series 16-2. I mean, this offense can explode at any time. How about the top 4 hitters in our lineup having at least 2 hits? And look at how many RBIs that is between all of them. I mean, that is just crazy. Devers went crazy, 3 for 5. Kelenic, 4 for 5, 4 runs. I mean, if that's the type of production we're going to have, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we get through the month of August here. We end up dropping 2 of 3 to Cleveland. End up sweeping Oakland, who is still rebuilding. They've been rebuilding this entire series. and they have just not gotten any better. I don't know what's going on with Oakland. They just are terrible in real life, terrible in the game. And we get to the September call-ups, and I actually forgot that we had signed Taylor Trammell to a 1-year, $1 million contract. And I'm probably going to be looking to re-sign him based on everything we've seen now, because we're going to be losing Kelenic, and we don't know what the situation is going to look like with KFC. What is his contract situation going to look like? What is everybody else's contract situation going to look like? Taylor Trammell is a cheap player, and he wanted a lot of money last year going into the re-signing period. We decided to let him hit free agency, and we re-signed him back for a cheaper deal than what he initially wanted. He definitely made a bad call there. But here we go at the September call-ups. He's getting the call-up for the last month of the season. So is Ben Swerve. We will allow him to pitch at least 1 month here, but next year he will likely have a bigger role in the rotation. And here we face Toronto again. I'm highlighting these Toronto series because this is the team to beat. But here's Kelenic driving one deep. That's gone. Facing Jose Barrios. He gets it done again. Kelenic, such a big bat we added. 2-0 at that point. He comes up in the third inning, facing Barrios again, and Barrios gives him another pitch to drive. That one is crushed to right center field. No doubt about that one. A solo jack this time. And Kelenic, you know, he just makes you think, do you shuffle around some pieces to re-sign this kid? Because this bat is on fire. 107 exit velo, 464. He's going to demand top dollar, though, in free agency, so probably not. Here is Devers at the plate next. I mean, who are you going to get out in this lineup here in the top 5 hitters? I mean, we are going to score a ton of runs, and the bottom of our lineup isn't no slouch either. I mean, we can hit the ball top to bottom. Taylor Trammell comes up next, though, and he swings and misses. You forget that Trammell has 99 power. So you have to deal with Devers, who has 98 power. You have to deal with Kelenic, who has 99 power. And then Taylor Trammell, who has 99 power. And then you forget about Adames and Kerry Doss, who have amazing power also. Kelenic 2 for 2 today, and he cannot come through here. But that ball was hit a mile in the air. I mean, that's the type of power he has, Brinson in center field. Ronald Torreyes comes up in the 9th inning. It's now a 6-4 ball game here in Nashville's favor, and we will end up getting the win in this one. And you can just see, we are beating Toronto here down the stretch, and I think we are making a run here, claiming our stake in the AL East. We have been the best team in the division the last 2 years, and now Toronto is seeing everything that we're throwing at them. I was surprised that the Yankees or Blue Jays did not make any moves at the deadline. I would have thought that they would have been trying to make a really big move. So we get to the beginning of the month. We face Boston, Washington, Toronto again, Detroit, Houston, Boston, and New York. I mean, this is kind of an easier schedule. Besides Toronto and New York, everybody else is pretty much struggling. That brings me to this matchup versus the Nationals, and I only want to really show Jacob deGrom because he is going to be a huge piece for us in the playoffs, including him and Gilbert. I mean, those are going to be the two pieces that could put us over the top as far as pitching goes. We didn't really change too much in the bullpen, but we did add Brusdar Graterol, so we did add another good bullpen arm in the offseason, and we didn't spend a lot of money. It's not taking a lot of money to get these guys. And especially with the 1 year, I guess 2 month rental, I think it might be worth it. Jacob deGrom in the first inning now facing Washington, who is about 20 games below 500. That one is going to be a hit by Justin Dean to right field. That brings up Juan Soto to the plate still with the Nationals, and Dean gets thrown out at second base. It's tough to run on these catchers, especially Zambrano, but Brian Lacker can play behind the plate as well. Soto continues his at bat, hits one well to the right side. That one's fielded cleanly by the Gold Glove winner last year, Kerry Doss. Top 8 now. DTW really turns it on towards the playoffs. He hits one well to center field. That one gets down. We will round first and head to third and get thrown out at third, trying to get there with Kerry Doss. That pretty much ends up being like the highlight of this game because Nashville did not show up with their bats today. Maybe played down to their competition a little bit. We end up losing this one 2-0. And the Washington Nationals get a win versus the Nashville Stars. But still, I wanted to see what DeGrom can do, and he pitched actually pretty well. We win the next game 10-4. Then we go on the road and play Toronto. We end up beating them 2 of 3, including back-to-back 5-1 victories. We play a little bit of an easier part of the schedule right here, playing Detroit, Houston, and Boston. Detroit would be the better team out of all these teams right here, but they actually get swept by us. I mean, we are doing that well. We win 4 straight versus Houston. We win 2 of 3 versus Boston. Then to end the season, we actually play the Yankees on the road. But even after losing 2 games, we still had like a 6-game lead right there. So I just want to check the last game of the season if it really matters, and it really doesn't. It looks like we have claimed the AL East and won the division for the 3rd straight season. Incredible. We have avoided the wild card game all 3 years we have been in the playoffs. That is crazy considering where we started from. So we make the playoffs here, and we are the number 1 seed in the AL. So we have the AL's best record, but we do not have the best record in the MLB. We'll look at the final standings of everybody else a little later. But I want to take a look at Rafael Devers. He is really, really good. And I say that because he was struggling for a lot of the season. He turns that into a 290 average, a OPS at almost 900. I mean, he is just doing things that nobody else can do. Jarred Kelenic, though, turned it on after the trade deadline. I mean, he went berserk, hit 293, 32 home runs. Now, when we acquired him, he was at 19. He finished with 32. I mean, that is huge, huge, huge. It's not like even he was even having a bad season. He just like turned it on even more. Ramon Salgado is a guy that you forget about because he's been on our bench, but he is capable of being a starter. And he has starter numbers: 908 OPS, 314 average, 394 on base percentage. He's going to be an excellent pro, and he's probably a guy we're going to save money with a little bit because, like I said, at one point we're not going to be able to afford all of these guys. A decision is going to need to be made probably pretty soon on who we do pay because we have Kendrick Franklin Cole. We already locked up Kerry Doss, Willy Adames as well. He's probably going to be hitting free agency. I just do not think we're going to be able to afford him. And I think we got him at a bargain deal when we did sign him. And from there, he's just had career best seasons. It's been kind of crazy to see that. Kurt Zambrano hit 311 this year. I have not played him full time. I think less is more for Brian Lacker and Kurt Zambrano. So platooning them is probably the most ideal thing to do. And if one gets cold in the playoffs, the other one will play. But Brian Lacker, this is a plus from him. 21 home runs this season. Kerry Doss also had 21 home runs, and he had an OPS lower than Brian Lacker. And he had about 100 more at-bats, about 150 more at-bats to be precise. He only hit 262. Kerry Doss, I thought was going to be a guy that would be like a perennial all-star and MVP candidate every year. It just hasn't been that way. He's just been a really good pro. Enrique Bradfield disappoints in year number 2, and this was a big reason why I had Dante Wild moved up to that leadoff spot for a lot of the season because I could not depend on Enrique. I mean, the thing is, he's a thief on the base pass. I mean, he's going to steal a lot of bases, but he just hasn't done that. And it's very, very confusing because I thought this was going to be my center fielder of the future. He doesn't have a great arm. He's just got the speed right now. I just need to see the bat pick up. So as far as pitchers go, we had an excellent second half after the All-Star break and after that trade because We did have a couple of games where we were giving up runs, but some games we were just lights out. We were winning like 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-0, 5-0, 3-0. Like, we were pitching extremely well. Bradley McDougald led the way, and I'm thinking that McDougald might be the ace going into the playoffs, but Troy Quincy is a man now. 91 overall. The development has been crazy. He did have kind of a down year, if you would call it that, but his attributes went up a whole lot, and I'm excited to see what he can do. He actually had his career high in WAR, so if that means something, then take it for what it means. But we locked him up to a contract. He's due $12 million over the next 3 years, so he is locked up. Logan Gilbert, he is the rental. We traded for him at the deadline, 105 whip. I mean, he is just really good. He's probably going to demand a pretty good contract. I'm saying around what Troy Quincy has right now, $12 million. I think that's what he's probably going to get. Jack Leiter as well. He's going to be hitting free agency relatively soon. So I think, developing guys, we got one more year of arbitration out of him. We're just not going to be able to pay all these guys. If I had to choose another pitcher to re-sign out of all these guys, it would be Bradley McDougald. So Jack Leiter will probably hit free agency and demand a huge contract. Troy Quincy is already under contract for 2 more years after this one. He's going to be hitting free agency pretty soon also, depending on how far we go in this series. And then we have Joel Payamps and Brusdar Graterol. I'm kind of glad we ended up drafting some relief pitchers, so we have never had to really spend in free agency on relief pitchers. Brusdar Graterol has really been the first, and I'm excited to see, Graterol and Payamps. They will be in the bullpen for the next 3 years, along with Pablo Moya. So all 3 of those guys are locked up. Moya kind of had a down year this year, but still, 44 saves is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he was still very good, a .084 whip. I mean, that is crazy. That is just crazy, the numbers. But the blown saves, he's at 7. So that was actually 1 shy of his career high his rookie year, but still had 44 saves. So we get to the rest of the league, and looking at the league leaders, Kendrick Franklin Cole is actually second in the AL in hits. I mean, the kid was just crazy good, and how good can he be? That's the question. He's 27 years old. He's going into his prime. I don't think he's even in his prime. He's going into his prime. Devers had 45 home runs also. That is just crazy. He was 1 shy of the MLB leader. And then looking at, who was the best hitter in baseball? Once again, Trout. I mean, what is up with Trout? He is one of the greatest players ever and can never win anything. But the Angels have made the playoffs this year, which we will see on the next screen. But looking at Logan Gilbert, he was actually second in ERA in the AL. So we acquired a guy that really has been quite the acquisition. Then Bradley McDougald pitched the second most innings, and Logan Gilbert was second in the AL in whip. MVP goes to Mike Trout. The pitcher of the year goes to the Cy Young winner. I said pitcher of the year. The Cy Young winner goes to Noah Syndergaard. And reliever of the year does not go to Pablo Moya, obviously with the down year he had. He finishes top 3 for the 3rd straight year, though. Gold Glove goes to Kerry Doss at first base. Can't even talk. So congratulations to him for a 2nd straight Gold Glove. Marcelo Mayer gets shortstop for the Red Sox. And then Silver Slugger for DH goes to KFC. Congratulations to him. And then Rafael Devers recovers and gets another Silver Slugger, his 5th straight at 3rd base in the AL. So that's going to do it here in this episode. You can just see the leaders here in each division and who's going to be in the playoffs. The Angels finally make it at 85-77. I want to face them because every year we seem to face the same teams. It's either the Yankees, Blue Jays, and White Sox. That's pretty much it. It's the same team. So I hope that the Angels this year can beat the AL Central team this year, and we will see if they can, because we face once again the winner of the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Next episode will begin the playoffs once again. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, yeah.